All right, by the thumbnail, you guys already know what this video is about, so let's get into it. Built hopefully my last bulk workstation for a while anyways, but we're doing some work in the basement, but there it is. It's a beauty. What's going on, guys? All right, so right here next to me is my new Paulk smart station with the smart cart and the table saw cradle. Oh, don't worry, we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna kind of show you how I made this fit. Pretty easy. This is Makita's 40 volt, 12 inch cordless dual bevel compound miter saw that I have, and it's my go-to. And a couple reasons why I built this one. I already have a smart station, but I did not have the smart cart or the actual, I guess, sawhorses, you want to call them, the legs for under here. I have never built those before, so I wanted to go from beginning to end. And now this is not finished. Obviously, I don't have the dowel holes or anything like that. I probably will eventually do that, but I'm assuming that's probably going to add probably 6 to 7 man hours to this, because it does take some time to do those, but once they're done, they're done. So there's basically, this is pretty much the only thing I did not transfer over of my last station is the actual table saw cradle. Of that, there's no reason to replace it. It's the same exact thing, and it just transfers back and forth if I need to. My last station, I am going to convert it back into just a regular workstation. I don't need a miter station for that one anyway. Plus it's beat up, the top's beat up anyway, so it needs a little TLC as well. So I built this one. Another reason is my last wings, these wings right here, they're good for 8-foot lengths. These ones are going to be good for 10-foot lengths. I'm actually in my basement now, building this 1,400 square foot basement out, finishing the basement. So, and this is 9.5 basement ceiling, 9.5 foot basement ceiling. So I need a little longer capacity. So that's why I built these. And I'll go over, you'll see here in a little bit, I'm going to do an up and close and personal kind of my thoughts on it as well. But there's a couple things, couple additions, couple modifications I did to this one. And everyone's going to be a little different unless you have the exact same, obviously, miter saw, because of heights, oscillating, left and right, mitering it, all that kind of stuff. You want to make sure you have enough space. So that's why every station, unless you're doing the exact same saw, is going to be different. So mine, this smart cart, this obviously we're in a basement. It's been working out pretty good. I've only had it for up and running for about a week or so, and been using it. It's fantastic for smooth surfaces. It's great. It's been working out. It's been nice. I mean, granted, it's been sitting here, but I can move it back and forth. I can actually, this whole thing. Now this probably, with the table saw and the miter, standing, we were probably looking at, probably 300 pounds, because the miter saw is, I think, 70. So we're probably up there. So it moves around just fine. There's a couple modifications to this we'll go over. I like it. It's very useful. I'm gonna love this. Now, obviously, I do a lot of work on site, on job sites. Nothing's really kind of like this nice unless I'm doing a basement build where, I'm always in the grass. Like, these wheels won't work on anything but a smooth surface, really. These aren't like 4x4 wheels or anything like that. This is exactly the setting that I have it in now. Is its optimal setting inside a basement setup. Going to be here for weeks, months probably, because obviously I'm working on it as a side project as opposed to all my other work I've got going on, right? So it just stays here. So that's exactly this bread and butter. I absolutely love it, and we're going to go through it here. As far as Ron Paulk's plans, I've bought them many times, actually multiple times. I bought all his, even though I could probably build it from memory, and I could just look at a picture and probably build it. I'm not saying I'm the best carpenter in the world or best wood finisher in the world, but I can make do. So, but I want to go to his website. I'll probably link it in the description here in this video, just so you guys go to it, buy the plans, support his work, because he's the one who came up with his plans, and I'm basically just buying the plans and building it for myself and just modifying it to fit my needs. So now I will say I built this from start to finish, all brand new, except for the table saw cradle, which you can probably get about 3 hours or so, and you can build that for yourself as far as man hours. But everything else, this is a lot of time invested. I would say, probably $400 in a material. I would say maybe $500 in a material. because obviously I built this thing out of birch, and there's a couple oak pieces in here as well, but this is all birch plywood. I know some people, they do that super light plywood or whatever. This is what I have available. This is just your basic grade, not even cabinet grade. This is the stuff you get from Lowe's or Home Depot. It's not, but it still costs about $80 a sheet. So, I mean, then we got Rockler's T-Tracks in here as well. So we've got probably $80 of T-Track in here. So it just takes a little bit of money, but the main investment, like I said before, is time. This would probably, if I was doing it from start to finish, I think I probably have, probably 16 man hours to it. I would say 16 to 18. And it took me longer because obviously I was going, between after work, in between jobs, stuff like that, just trying to make time. So it took me a while, but I will absolutely, I would say 15 to 18 hours, man hours to build it all. And you might think, I did not basically do the router, jigs or anything like that. Ron Paulk, if you watch his videos, you can make a pattern and you can just do it all over. I just did for the station supports. I basically just did one. I traced it all out. I cut it, and then I used that for its own print. And then I just used the jigsaw. You'll see it in the B-roll footage. And in the smart card itself, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But I didn't use a router to cut out and trace out everything. I just measured and cut it, and it was done with it, which is a little more time consuming. I'll admit it, but at the same time, I'm not going to be building these. This is probably going to be my last total station for a while. I mean, I don't see myself. This year alone, I just basically lowered, as far as my employees are concerned, I'm one-man operation, plus I, subcontract a lot of work. So this is what you're looking at here, and this is why I invested this amount of time into this project. It's going to last me a long time, and I don't see myself building anymore. So therefore, I don't need any additional jigs or any kind of patterns or anything like that. So, but for Ron, it obviously makes sense for him too. So. Lots of time invested in this. I'd say, a solid 2 days, material acquisition, all that kind of stuff. So, you got 2 days of production that you've lost building this, and then also the materials. So these are expensive. Like I need to make some good money during the day. So you're looking at, it's an expensive tool. This is absolutely an expensive tool. So if you're looking, you're adding the 3 hours or so to build the table saw cradle as well. So, and I do have a couple of things. I will bring you guys closer. I do have the bar underneath to basically raise and lower each side of the smart cart. Just with one, you can just step on the one bar, and I just made it out of, just like Ron Paulk did, a couple pieces of 3/4 ply, glued them together, screwed them, and then I'm just going to drill them into the actual levers of the wheels, and we'll be fine. So I just haven't gotten to that point. And I also made a couple supports, so you can see how flimsy these are, just because they're out further away from the actual station. I built a triangle support that'll bolt with 5/16 and carriage bolts, and it'll support. It's just something. It's just a knob and tube. I can screw it on just like I do with these as well. It just comes together. I can undo it if I need to. Just a little extra support if I need it, which eventually I will for sure. So. We'll bring you up and close. I'll kind of give you guys a little tour. A couple of things, highlights for if you guys never built a Ron Paulk station. The main thing is you can see under here. You'll see with the video, tool storage. I have all my tools and stuff. It's a workstation. I want everything there. That way I can have it. I have more materials on this other side. I've got my nails for my nailers. We're gonna be framing some walls in here. Insulation, vapor barrier, all that kind of stuff. So we want to keep everything in one spot, and then having the smart cart on wheels for a basement like this, it's nice. It is. There you go. It just moves around. It's kind of nice. So let's get into the up and close personal part. All right, guys, here we go. I know it's kind of hard to get into a one frame, but that's basically the entire thing, the entire workstation right here. You got the support legs, and I put a piece of treated under there so you can see. Got a little bit of material storage, which is great, and you can also store it obviously on the smart cart itself. So this is 3x6. 6-inch or 6-foot wide wings, so I can do the 10-foot materials on either side and support them without them teetering off. And then here is on either side, I do have these, you can see, and these basically go right under here, just just like that, and they'll bolt in. They'll have a little carriage bolt. It'll slide in, and then that's basically it. I probably don't even have to screw them in, which I do have the carriage bolt washers or whatever you want to call them. So that is just to give it a little more support. I got them on both ends, and then you got your little bars here. So these go right there. So you can, 1 foot operation for both of them. You can get both wheels at one time. So it makes it a little easier. So little modifications. So a couple things I will say, with the Paulk total station, I do have to modify a little bit. I route it out a little bit on either side. So basically I can get both sides going all the way over 60 degrees. So I get a little more light, but that's pretty much it. Anyway, that's the workstation, guys. It's fantastic. You can see I have a bunch of crap, I'm just working out of it. So you get, more materials and stuff like that. And it being that it is on, wheels, we can move it anywhere we want to. So pretty nice. I do enjoy it. Obviously these wheels are going to get stuck on any kind of zip tie or anything like that. They're pretty small. A couple notes if you guys are building this. I know Ron Paulk says like 3 mils going down from top. You guys get close up here, like 3 mils from the top of this board down. I went 5 mils just because I wanted a little extra space. That worked out great for me. I did have to redo this entire piece on this side and the opposite side, just recut them because I did mess up that. A couple mistakes I did. I mismeasured a little bit over here. You can see that little hole. It's a little bigger than it needs to be. So I made a little mistakes, but nothing I can't get over. It's fantastic. Having the cradle is fantastic. It's been working out great, just being able to move everything, and having it on wheels is really nice. I do enjoy it. But it's not for everybody. It's not going to be for me if I'm on a job site where I have to set my workstation up outside or rough terrain, stuff like that. So all in all, it's been great. Again, I did mount the table saw station, or the table saw cradle is carryover. You can see, and I do have. You can mount it here, and then I do have the holes to mount it on this side as well if I need to. You guys can see. Right there, and then right here. So if I need to, I can mount it on this side going that way, or mount it on this side, just however I want to do it. And I'll put this hole over there as well if I need to, but I haven't needed to yet. So been pretty good. I'm getting over a cold here, so that's why my voice is all messed up. I promise I don't smoke. I've never smoked a day in my life. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much the gist of it. All right, guys, that's it for Paulk Smart Station with the smart cart and the table saw, cradle, all that good stuff. Lots of time invested, but it's going to be worth it. I would highly recommend you guys build one if you need one. Having the tool storage is fantastic. So that's pretty much all I've got. See you in the next video. Appreciate it.